everybody, I'm Laura Trump coming to you from Palm Beach, Florida. Everyone knows the obstacles President Trump has faced in fulfilling his agenda to make America great again. That's why we're starting to use new ways to communicate with voters across the country without the filter of the biased media interfering with our support for the president. Plus, we want to explore the issues that matter most to hardworking Americans, such as you, who are ready to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C. Today, we discuss the highest priority on President Trump's agenda, tax reform, including the largest tax cuts in American history. With me to provide insight on President Trump's tax plan is the first female physician to ever serve in the U.S. Congress, former Representative Nan Hayworth. Nan, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Laura. Great to be with you. Thank you.
Now, Nan, I understand you've been moderating town hall meetings on tax reform for the White House and Ivanka Trump. Tell me, what have we learned from these meetings? What are Americans saying about tax reform?
You know, we were in Bucks County together with Ivanka Trump and U.S. Treasurer Jovita Carranza. We were in Biddeford, Maine, and Senator Susan Collins joined us there. And Laura, the enthusiasm was palpable. People were so excited about the fact that we have a president who is dedicated to putting Americans back to work, to creating great American jobs. And they know that the way to do that, the most powerful tool we have for really making this economy go and go, is to get tax reform. So they were thrilled to hear about all the provisions that the president has been fighting for, including, of course, making our business taxes lower for businesses of all sizes. We need to compete, and Senator Collins emphasized this in Maine, we need to compete with the rest of the world. And we can't do that with the high corporate taxes and the high business taxes that we have now. So these audiences cheered when they heard that we're on the way to cutting business taxes. We're on the way to cutting taxes for hardworking families, people in the middle class. Of course, Ivanka Trump, as a working mother, has been very, very passionate about the child-independent tax credits, and those are going to be in this bill as well. So it was really, Laura, it was just really inspiring to see how excited people were, and for good reason.
Absolutely. Now, you've been speaking with your former colleagues on Capitol Hill. Why should they support the president's middle-class miracle?
Because they know, Laura, they know that their constituents are waiting for relief. We have, we've been so blessed, Laura, as you know, we have had, the Dow has risen 30%. Since President Trump took office.
All-time high.
We hit a new milestone just today, 24,000. And it is just amazing to see how excited the investor community is. And that's basically all of us. Everybody's got a pension plan. Everybody's in on this. And the president's done that just through single-handedly through regulatory reforms that he's initiated. So with tax reform, my former colleagues in the House of Representatives and the senators working across the Capitol with them know that tax reform is what we need now to really make things grow exponentially. So they are determined to get this done, and they are going to work out. What's going to happen is once the Senate passes its bill, the House will join with them in a conference committee. They'll all get together. And I was on a conference committee when I was in the House of Representatives, and they will work out all the ways in which they can blend these bills, and then they'll send it to the president for his signature, and we will sit back and watch the American people do the things that they do so well, sensibly, with the dollars in their pockets and in our businesses to grow jobs and grow the economy.
It's so exciting. I can't wait. Nan, you're an expert on health care and a small business owner as well. Repealing the Obamacare mandate and the small business pass-through have been points of disagreement in the Senate.
Yes.
Why are these issues so important?
Well, let's start with Obamacare. Of course, as a doctor, Laura, you can imagine I have seen and heard the stories of how, unfortunately, and it does actually hit small business folks extremely hard in the insurance marketplace. Unfortunately, what Obamacare has done is cause premiums to skyrocket across the country. They have more than doubled in the past 4 years on average across the United States. And of course, high deductible plans are making it almost impossible for people to use the insurance once they get it. So repealing the individual mandate in Obamacare will provide immediate relief for people who can't afford to buy expensive policies to begin with. It will provide immediate relief from that mandate. And that is one more step toward dismantling this really bad law and to helping the American people have much better access to affordable health insurance. So that's a great step. And in terms of the small business provisions, the pass-throughs, everybody wants to see small businesses get tax relief. And I think Tom McClintock from California, a great Republican representative, said it best. He said, you know what, we want no one left behind on tax relief. We want everybody to be in on this process and to benefit. So what they're going to do, it actually turns out that there are a lot, and maybe it won't surprise you, Laura, there are a lot of rules involved with defining small businesses and what exactly they do and how their income gets apportioned out. So they're going to work out all those details between the House and the Senate, and I'm sure that that will not be an obstacle ultimately, and small businesses will get relief.
Yeah, absolutely. Nan, as Congress reconciles the bills from the Senate and House, one of the issues will be the state and local tax deduction. Yeah. What is your advice to members of Congress fighting for this deduction? It's so important.
Sure. Well, it is. And, you know, I'm one of the folks who's, I love New York, but, you know, I don't love our very high taxes in New York. And it is going to be tough for some of us who live in high tax states, and we all know who we are, across the country to completely lose the state and local tax deduction, which has been around for many, many decades, in fact, over a century. So they're going to be able to work out, I am sure, particularly their advocates in the House. There are a lot of representatives from high tax states who are in the House majority who want to see this done in a way that will provide a measure, at least, of relief for folks who have been accustomed to deducting their state and local taxes. It's worth mentioning, it's very important actually, Laura, to mention that doubling the standard deduction, which is part of this plan, will help enormous numbers of taxpayers across the country, even if they're in high tax states. So we're talking about a smaller number than that who will be worrying about losing that state and local tax deduction. But there are plans in the works, and again, when the House and Senate get together, they will figure out how we can help to make folks whole so that that aspect of this plan will not be as worrisome as it might be for some folks today.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Listen, we can talk till we're blue in the face about all of this, but it's all about what it really means, what the president's tax plan really means for jobs and wages for the middle class. Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, this tax reform, this tax plan, Laura, is crucial to putting Americans back to work and raising their wages. And here's why. Because when we lift the burdens on businesses and on employers, on people who grow and hire across our country, regardless of the size of the business, we create more demand for workers. And when you do that, wages rise. You know, when there's more demand for workers, you have to pay them better. So this is a win-win for our economy and for jobs and for American families. They're going to have more dollars in their pockets because wages are going to go up. They're going to get tax relief. They're going to get help with their child and dependent costs, so important for families across the country. And also because, again, we're all parts of pension plans, almost all of us in some way. Our investments are going to be more valuable because our whole economy is going to grow and be stronger. President Trump has done amazing things. He is one of our most amazing and potent presence for the economy that we've ever had just in his first year. But with this tax reform, it's going to be absolutely breathtaking, and it's thrilling to see this for the American people.
No, so thrilling. And the president has said that he would like to have this on his desk signed by Christmas.
Yes.
What is your advice, Nan, for Americans at this point? What can they do to help ensure that tax reform makes it to the president's desk by Christmas?
You know, Laura, this is truly a call to action for all of us. Every American citizen has a representative in Congress and 2 senators who represent them in the Senate. And now is the time to call, to email, to get on social media. Whether you're representative or senators, are Democrats or Republicans, now is the time to let them know that tax reform is crucial and that it matters to you as an American and as a voter and as someone who cares about the prosperity for every one of us. And that is the opportunity for us as citizens to really get involved. Make your voice heard. It does make a difference.
Great. Nan, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for the update. This is all very, very exciting. And thank you for all you're doing to support the president's tax reform plan. We really appreciate it.
It's a privilege, Laura. Thank you for all you do.
And thanks to you for joining me as well. We're so excited to connect with you in new ways to help President Trump make America great again. I'm Laura Trump from Palm Beach, Florida. Good night, everybody.